So Joab,
Yo,
where are we going today?
we are going to the oldest person that I know. Sorry.
That's weird. The oldest person you know.
Sorry. I
They're
meant...
also the oldest person that I know.
Is it?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I really actually meant to say the oldest serving person in our
okay.
church. But both things are pretty much true.
Yeah.
We are visiting our old Lynn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless her.
Bless her. Cotton socks.
Yeah, in the home.
Yeah. We love you, Lynn. Yeah, so let's go find out a bit more about Lynn. Many of you know a lot about Lynn, but I don't think all of you know how she got to Hillfields.
No. And we're going to go find out.
Yeah.
And also get a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Yeah, brought our own milk.
Yeah, brought our own milk because
Lynn's milk is horrible.
Yeah. So
you know,
we're delivering milk now.
Yeah, milkman.
Yeah. Hit the road with Rich. And Joab also
And
working
some
for Uber Eats.
Yeah. Alright, check it out.
Yeah. Hello! You didn't want to keep that other one in. Let's go.
Why don't they knock the door?
Hi Lynn.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's good to be here. We're just going to ask you a few questions. So starting, first question is, how did it come about that you came to Hillfields Church?
Oh, well, that was about 16 years ago, originally. I was at the Sanctuary Church, and one of the guys there that I used to go to home group with, John, he's in glory now, was actually coming on the Sunday evening to preach at Hillfields. And so a few of us came along to support Barbara, his wife, sat there on her own. So, and we thought, I thought, cool, this is lovely. And it was nothing like I'd been used to a worship band, and I was about 8 years into being a Christian. And there was a worship team at Sanctuary with guitars and drums. Yeah. And at Hillfields, they had a piano and older type of music and stuff. But I don't know, God must have been doing something in me. And it was lovely, just really, and the people were lovely. And it just happened that I don't know what happened with me in the sense of what God was doing. I didn't realise then, but the desire was being taken away from me to go to Sanctuary, and there was nothing wrong. I used to go to a morning meeting, an evening meeting at times, and home group, and I thought, Lord, I don't understand this. Why have I got that desire, even though there was absolutely nothing wrong? And the Lord had a plan. Yeah. And that's exactly how I ended up. We ended up coming to Hillfields. We learnt that one of the dear old gentlemen there, his wife had passed away. So we came back in the week. That was Ian and Anne and me. And we came back on the Friday for their memorial, and just to get to know people. And we didn't know what was happening. The three of us didn't. But God had a plan. And then I came back again. I think Ian and Anne went on holiday, and I came back again, and I thought, I don't know, I just feel that the Lord is leading me here, and I have no idea why. And they were so lovely to me, and some of them are still at our church now. Yeah. So that's how I came, really, and it went from there.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. There was nothing wrong at the Sanctuary, I thought, well, this is God. God, I just had such a desire to go to Hillfields, and I felt flat. When I prayed, I just felt nothing. You know, when you feel that excitement about something, that was Hillfields and nothing for the sound. But it wasn't anything to do with the church. No. It was the fact that God had a plan. This is where he wanted me to be for whatever reason. So
do you think that is amazing with what God is doing now?
Oh, absolutely.
To think that God had started your journey,
yeah,
and obviously other people followed, in a similar way, actually. But that he started that 15, 16 years ago with no clue as to sort of where it was going to go, and it took that long.
Yeah, definitely.
So how do you see? Do you see like now the making sense of how you were feeling. Like there's no real issue why I'm leaving my church. I'm coming into a church that actually doesn't actually fit anything that I was used to.
Yeah.
But do you see that now as like how God was bringing you in then?
Yeah, definitely.
Even though that was.
And I think as we walk with the Lord, we grow, don't we?
Yeah.
We, that's the aim, isn't it, to be more like Jesus. And the Lord shows you the giftings, and He brings out things in you, and you're led down a certain way in that. I mean, when I came to Hillfields, I was one that would stand at the back, wouldn't get involved in. I was so shy, believe it or not, I wouldn't speak, and to be on camera is really uncomfortable for me. But I wouldn't speak to I wouldn't be any. Now I can get up on a mic. If anybody asked me to read anything, I could do it. And the things that God has done in my life over those 16 years, and still doing, because it's an onward journey, isn't it? Is when I look back on my own life, I think, wow, Lord, I would never be able to pray with people 16 years ago. I would never do what you're asking me to do now. But God did a mighty work. And put people around me that encouraged me and kept me going, which is what it's all about, isn't it?
Do you see it as, even though we don't think this at all, one, we don't like waiting, we don't really like going through training, but the reality of it is that for your journey, and actually for quite a few people, it had to start then. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing now and be the person you are today. Definitely. If it had been now, if you just come into the church like it is now, you still have to go through that process.
Yeah, definitely.
So God started that, knowing that. You don't know that, but actually taking you through.
Yeah, because His timing is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So He knows. I mean, sometimes we want to run ahead, don't we? We can get a vision, we can get a dream if God gives us that, and we can run ahead with it. I think you and I were chatting about that. I mean, and you can run ahead with it, and you think, and God says, no, not yet. Just leave, because we don't know what He's up to in our heart. It's only Him that has to deal with our heart and knows what's in there, and sometimes even we're a bit shocked by what is in our heart, and He wants to deal with that in a loving, fatherly way to get us to the point where we can be used to encourage others, and and I'm just astounded at what God's done in my life, just completely astounded. So to where I am today, not in any boastful way, but how I can speak to people today is not how I used to be. So it's it's amazing.
Cool. Okay. So we're in Patchway.
Littlestoke.
Do you know I used to go to the school?
Did you?
Yeah. I used to live the other side of the school.
Oh, what, the school opposite me?
Yeah. I used to live the other side of it there.
Yeah.
So, and I used to go to that school. A few years ago.
That's when you were young, Rich.
Yeah, when I was a lot smaller. And but that's not. We're still not quite close. We're not close to where Hillfields here. No. Like it's a drive, but it's not as far as some people that come. But it's still a drive.
Yeah.
One of the things that why we're doing Hit the Road is to try and kind of expand on the fact that people are coming from quite a distance as well. Some people come they're from close, like Joab is very nearby, but like is that something that's shifted in your mindset as a Christian that's grown up in church in one way or another, to kind of be like, oh, actually no, I've got to find a local church, be in a local area, to kind of actually travel 20 minutes potentially to the church, as being like that? I'm happy to do that, because obviously you don't just come on a Sunday, you come through the week, you do cleaning, you come and you help and serve in other areas. So you're choosing to drive quite a distance rather than find something that's within 5 minutes, which most people would do. Is that something that's shifted in you, or is that something that's always been there? And why go that far?
Yeah, I mean, I never really thought about it before in depth, but I think when I became a Christian in 95 and 96, and then growing up in that, it was always mentioned, you need to go to a local church because, support your local church. So that mindset was there in the background. Yeah. But obviously how I came here and moved to Littlestoke, but the Lord wants me at Hillfields, so it's not an issue. Yeah. And the Lord's provided for me to get to Hillfields with a vehicle. not the one I've got now, the previous one that went wrong, the Lord provided for me for that, which was amazing. So he was saying, you know, to come. And also now, Josephine comes to Hillfields, and most weeks I bring her in. I pick her up round the corner from the bus stop, and she can come on the morning from Thornbury. So God lines it all up. It's just amazing.
So the actual distance.
The distance.
I mean, it's the same answer we get every time, but actually you just go where God is leading you. It's not, but if you were able to kind of say to people that were thinking, well, I've always believed that it's serve your local church, go to your local church, but really that's not really the truth, is it?
No,
it can be. That's where God wants you to be.
Yeah.
But the truth of it is more like
it's more where God wants you to be.
So trying to almost to encourage and educate people to say, look, don't go where people tell you to go where God tells you to go, and that might be a drive, it might be local, but actually it's when you're going where God wants you to go, then it works. And God, like you say, God provides. Yeah, he provides, and he lays it on your heart. I remember last year when Raheem and Ben came for the first time, and I was talking to them out in the marquee, and they were saying they came from Ashton Way and around that area, and I said, oh wow, you know, but then they felt that was Hillfields was going to be their home, and it didn't matter to them. We were just told, I said, well, I live at Littlestoke, so I'm not local as in the area, and it doesn't matter, you know, when God puts a desire on your heart to be at a certain place, he'll provide, and also he gives you that what's the word, not wherewithal, but you know, the heart to it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I had to drive an hour. If that's where God wants me to be, it's because he enables you to do it. You know, he enables you. The drive is lovely anyway, and I love driving. So, you know, for me, it's easy for me in that way. And I know Margie coming in from Bath, and she said, I put my worship on, and the journey just goes. When you're in the place God wants you to be, it's fine. It's okay. Talking about that, I know it's been like it for a few years, because we've kind of always been in awe of what God's been doing in the last few years anyway. But is there a difference between you travelling to church now to maybe travelling to church a few years back, in the sense of like the anticipation and the excitement because of what God's doing? Like you almost like you said, you can drive on the way with your worship on, but you also you know that you're going to something that, you know, I can't wait to see, like almost like you're going to a concert or, you know, to see someone that you I can't wait to hear their music, or I can't wait to, that you're almost like, I can't wait to see what God's about to do, I can't wait to see who's going to come in today for the first time. Is that kind of like what they're kind of...
Yeah, absolutely. Because with what God's done over the last 18 months, 2 years, we got a new family added. You know, we're all one family, but we've got new people added, and it's been wonderful with God's showing them that they need to be there, and their heart to serve in whatever areas in the church. Like we're all there, but to be there with them and learn about them and get close to another set of family is amazing. And our church is just exciting. I love it. I just love going along. You know, and different people every day. You know, and somebody might just pop in, come in for a coffee. They were passing the door, coming home from work. People come in from work after doing a full day. You know, I think what God's done in all of us, and it's an ongoing work, is he's growing us so much as a family, and we want to be with each other. So it doesn't matter whether you've worked all day. I mean, you young ones can do it, but you've worked all day. It doesn't matter. You know, there's stuff going on for the young people, and I've seen the young people as well, you know, seeing different ones in the church at different time. It's lovely to get to have more time with them as well. So
that's cool.
It is exciting.
Kind of like leading into the last question then is, over the last 18 months or so, what's been your highlight, or what would be something that you would take from the last 18 months that you would be like, this is what I've seen God do? Or maybe there's just like a specific story that you just think, that one blew me away. Like if you were able to take something that God has done, in this last 18 months that you've just seen and witnessed and has blown your mind, like what would it be? You can have more than one. Yeah,
I think I can't bring to mind any one specific thing, but I think just to see how God has added and grown a family for his purposes, raising up people in the church, those that have come in to us that have already been there for a while, seeing their talents and their gifts that God has given them to work together with the body. And you can see just this excitement and this wonder. I mean, being on Welcome on a Sunday for us is an absolute privilege, because we look out across the hall and just go, wow. The young people, the children, the adults, all coming in with their different gifts and talents, and all wanting to serve the Lord. Those that can make it during the week, others they work full time, they can only get there on a Sunday. Some care for mums and dads and stuff and can't get there to evening meetings, so it's great that we do online as well for them. But just seeing God at work, really, in people's lives. I can't pick out one thing. It's just been phenomenal, really, at what God's doing for these days that we're living in. And we've got a body of people as a family that support and love, and we're growing to learn. None of us are perfect. We're learning to live with one another, learning to be around each other. But it's just incredible, because it's God. God has done it every single week. It's not anything to do with anybody. We've said before, we don't advertise for people to come. They come because God's sending them in, and He's got a purpose and a plan. So, and it's opening up in their lives as well. That's to see that and come alongside and pray with each other and encourage one another. It's just lovely.
Do you look out, like you said, you look out on a Sunday, you get a good vantage point as a part of the Welcome team. Do you remember the empty hall? Do you remember kind of the different style, the different way it was, different age, what it looked like specifically? So does that go through your mind when you see, like every Sunday you see this, but you go like, wow, I remember when it was like this, and that
absolutely
kind of is what makes you...
Definitely. When there was, very low, it's not about numbers, but very low people in the, number of people in the church, and then I remember you having that vision from the Lord, and you set the chairs out and prayed over each one, and it just did something in my heart. We started to pray, and I think others did as well, and we thought, well, Lord, when God doesn't seem to move, you think, oh, Lord, we just so want to see people saved. We want to see people come into the kingdom. Look at the joy that God's given us. But then when God did move, because it's all in His timing, and seeing it now, I look round and I look at Jamie. Where are we going to put people? It's amazing. We got the room, at this moment in time. But you think to yourself, oh, wow. I remember when there were like 25, 30 chairs that were out, 40 chairs, I think, 40 chairs. And sometimes it was only 25 people, because I used to count. And just to see, there was 25. And then when God gave you that vision about praying and about setting the chairs out and believing God, we just knew God was started. Well, I felt in my heart God was starting to move.
It's funny because that vision,
just amazing.
That picture of putting the chairs out, that was 111 chairs, 109 chairs. And so we actually put out 170 now every week. So even that vision is done. Like it's gone past that point of putting. When we saw that as like, wow, really? We're going to fill all those chairs. Well, we have, and now we're nearly. Well, we're edging towards doubling of that. Aren't we? And,
it's amazing.
And
with the young people,
I look out on Sunday and I go, God, like what is going on? Like, what's happening? There's
and to see our youth. To see the youth have grown. In number and in height, they've grown. But when you look out at the young people, and I think, oh Lord, it's just amazing. And it's all God. It's all down to the Lord. Absolutely. There's a timing with everything with God, and it's just lovely.
So like going back to the very first question, like how 15, 16 years ago, God had drawn you into a place that didn't really make sense. This is where the way I look at the way God's built the church in the last 18 months specifically with the people we've seen, but really when we look at the foundations that have been put in place, they were being put in place by God 15, 16 years ago with people coming into the building, or God working on people that have come in the last 18 months, working on them probably at similar times to start getting them ready. And it's like the convergence of like everyone seems to just be converging at this moment in one place at the same time with a like-mindedness. God's done a work through people. But it started when it was like, this doesn't what is this, Lord? Or why am I here? Like, but God's taken us through that process where we can kind of say, well, I get it now. I understand what I've gone through. Like, you weren't even in the same country when. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? When we're talking about it, like how God's like been like, no, I'm bringing someone from another country, and other people that have come in even recently that have only been in our country for 3 years, and they've been like, they're here now.
Yeah, I always felt 16 years ago when I first came into Hillfields, 16, that when I knew that the Lord wanted me there, I've always felt that Hillfields was my home. Yeah. There was never any other place like in my heart for me. That Hillfields is my home.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see why at the time. And I was younger in the faith, and we grow, don't we? But when you look back now and see, like you just said, from 16 years to now, what he's done in me, let alone what he's done in others, and continuing to do, and where's it going to lead? What is he going to do? It's exciting times, isn't it?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for letting us come in your home.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.